What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So this patch that came out a couple days ago that I covered, where they changed the XM4, FARA, and C58 recoil, and then also changed all the barrel recoils. They actually rolled this patch back. I didn't make an update video about it because it just didn't seem like there was anything to talk about besides tweeting out that they rolled back the changes. But they finally came back out with a patch. I don't know what the bug was that they had to roll it back for, but it is back live now. And this actually wasn't in there last time. The XM4 recoil pattern was not in the notes last time, but I actually noticed it in my testing, which was pretty vindicating that they added it to the patch notes. But one thing that I didn't really cover very well, and I kind of made a mistake, was with the Ranger and takedown barrel on the AK-47 and the XM4. So I'm going to correct that today. That's going to be the focus of the video. I'm going to be helping you decide if you should be using the Ranger takedown or the last barrel for the AK-47 and the XM4. Specifically, since those two for some reason don't get the nerf to recoil that the other ARs get. I think for the other ARs you probably still want to use the last barrel, but for the Cold War AK and the XM4 I think it's probably going to be the Ranger barrel / Liberator barrel. So I'm going to go do some recoil tests and I will help you guys decide which barrel to use. As always, if you guys like the content, consider dropping that sub. I'm trying to hit 200,000 subs by the 1 year channel anniversary, which I think is like August 13th. I have to double check the date. But that would be just an awesome thing to accomplish, I think, to have a 200,000 subs in 1 year. So thank you guys for the support. Let's jump into it and check out the barrels. All right, so with these changes, first of all, I think the Cold War AK and the XM4 are both essentially meta weapons. The Cold War AK is going to be a lot harder to use, but if you can master it, it's going to have the best TTKs of all the weapons. So that's kind of a fun thing about it, is it's hard to use, but it could be the best if you got used to it. XM4 is going to be easier to use, maybe slightly harder than the FARA still to use, but it's going to have a little bit better TTKs. So I think it brings both of them right into the meta. The XM4 was basically already meta. I loved it. I used it all the time for long range and thought it was great. But now I really think with this change, it's kind of going to be very open to everybody because they smoothed out that recoil. It doesn't have that sharp curve in the recoil pattern anymore. So when I'm talking about these, because they have different names for different guns, they're always in the same order for the guns, so I'm going to call it the 4th, 5th, and 6th barrel, or the last barrel. So the 4th barrel is the Liberator / Ranger barrel, which gives you the bullet velocity and vertical recoil control. The 5th barrel is the takedown barrel for both of them, so it gives you more damage range and horizontal recoil control. And then the Spetsnaz RPK / Task Force barrel is the last barrel. Gives you bullet velocity, horizontal and vertical recoil control, and damage range. So in the past, this was the go-to barrel for most long-range weapons. For the Cold War ARs, but now that might be different because the recoil control values are different. So we are going to look at that now. So I went into Plunder and tested these barrels. So on the left side here, these three on the left are the Cold War AK, Liberator takedown, Spetsnaz RPK, and then on the right is the XM4. This would be the Ranger barrel, takedown, and Task Force. I did Task Force 3 times because the results were kind of weird. So based on the patch notes, you'd expect the 4th barrel to have the most vertical recoil control, which for the Cold War AK it did. And then the takedown barrel should have no vertical recoil control, so this should be quite a bit higher, and it is significantly more recoil than the 4th barrel. And then the Spetsnaz RPK should be in between both of them in terms of vertical and horizontal, so it's exactly how the Cold War AK came out. It looks like the Cold War AK, for me, it has a lot of vertical recoil. It's really hard to control. So I would probably personally go with the Liberator barrel for the Cold War AK with the vertical recoil control help. But the last barrel is also a good choice because it gives you both damage range and bullet velocity, whereas the Liberator is only giving you bullet velocity. But another benefit of the Liberator barrel is it doesn't hurt your ADS times at all. So that's a really nice thing. I think personally I'm going to be using the Liberator barrel for the Cold War AK, and I think it's going to be a fantastic gun. Then talking about the XM4, this one's a little weird. It's supposed to be the same as the Cold War AK in terms of how this came out, and you can see that the 5th barrel does help with horizontal, which is, first of all, I want to talk about that for a second. For Modern Warfare guns, we never even had that. It was recoil stabilization and recoil control. Recoil control shrunk the pattern, just shrunk it in all directions, and recoil stabilization helped with like the bounce as it would go up the recoil pattern line. But for the Cold War guns, it literally means horizontal recoil. It takes the pattern and shrinks it horizontally or shrinks it vertically. So they're not even the same measures that we used to have. And I just input them as horizontal bounce on the website because I haven't had time to add a new statistic, and it would be really tricky for me to do that, but I could do it eventually. But it's just really interesting to me that we have a completely different stat that we didn't have before. But anyway, XM4, you can see the first barrel helps, the fourth barrel helps with vertical recoil. Fifth barrel does shrink it up horizontally. And then the task force barrel, the last barrel, actually looked like it had more vertical recoil control to me than the Ranger barrel for some reason. So I went and tested this some more. That's not the right picture. Here it is. I went and tested this some more, and it does actually look like, for some reason, the task force barrel has a little bit more vertical recoil. So the first two here are the fourth barrel, which is supposed to have the most vertical recoil control help, and then the sixth barrel are the two on the right, the task force barrel. So to me, it actually looks like I did what, like 3 tests with each. It looks like the task force barrel actually helps a little bit more with recoil than vertical recoil than the Ranger barrel. I don't know why that is. That's not how it's supposed to be. So I think for the XM4, for really long range use, probably still the task force is the way to go, even after the patch notes today. But if you want better ADS times, and the recoil is hardly any different. I mean, these are hardly any different at all. So if you want a little bit better ADS times, you can always still use the Liberator / Ranger barrel. I think that's a good one. So in summary, for the Cold War AK, I'm going to use the Liberator barrel, the bullet velocity and vertical recoil control help barrel. The XM4, if you want good ADS times, you can go with the Ranger barrel. But in terms of the best recoil you can possibly get, I still think the task force barrel is probably the way to go for the XM4. All right, well, that is all I wanted to cover today. I just wanted to help you guys decide between the Liberator / Ranger and task force barrel, essentially. And like I said in my tweet yesterday, I'm going to be focusing on the website today. I didn't actually intend to make a video today, but I didn't know they were going to release this. So I just did a quick video on it to help you guys out, and then I'll be focusing on the website, getting all of this updated. I'll be updating the nail gun, all these values, and then there were a bunch of other small things I need to fix on the website. So I'll be focusing on that tonight. And then hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with another video, but I don't know. Like I said, trying to hit 200,000 subs by my birthday / the 1-year anniversary of TrueGameData, which is the middle of August approximately. So if you guys want to help me out, I usually have about 30 to 40% of you not subscribed that are watching my videos. So I could literally get to 200,000 in a day if on one of my videos the people that weren't subscribed. So consider dropping that sub. I hope you guys found this useful. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.